beautiful art. Hello everyone and welcome to Cardiac. And welcome once again to First Time Slasher, where we review a horror movie that I should have seen a long time ago. For this episode, we're going to be covering The Phantom. Nope, not that one. Ugh, definitely not that one. That one. We're going to be talking about Phantom of the Paradise by Brian De Palma. So I actually discovered Phantom of the Paradise through a loose cannon series from a YouTuber by the name of Lindsay Ellis, who actually kind of goes through a character's deviations depending on how a story is being told and who's directing it and who's even playing the character. And she did one of the Phantom, or Eric, and this is how I discovered Phantom of the Paradise. Well, as luck would have it, it appeared on SHUDDER. Now, after seeing the movie, I will say it's kind of weird. It's not as gory and horrific, but it's on SHUDDER, so it's kind of fair game at this point. So let's get into it, shall we? What I knew going into Phantom of the Paradise is what I knew from Lindsay Ellis, and that basically this version of Phantom of the Paradise is kind of a cross between Faust, the Phantom of the Opera, and the Portrait of Dorian Gray. So it's kind of all of that with elements from each story put in together to form the Paradise. It's actually kind of interesting, especially because this is one of the few instances in the Phantom's version, or this version of the story, the Phantom actually gets deformed during the storyline. So that was kind of interesting. And it, instead of being placed in the late 1800s in like a opera, it actually takes place during the glam rock 1970s. It actually centers around Winslow Leach, an aspiring songwriter trying to get his music in front of a very famous music producer by the name of Swan. However, his music gets stolen by Swan and he tries to justify and be like, hey, work with me, gets sent to prison, and in the middle of him escaping and sabotaging his factory that produces all of his cuts or musics, if you will, becomes disfigured and is like, hey, like, you kind of messed me up, how fucking dare you? And in turn, Swan ends up having him sign his life over to basically create music for him, and he recommends that this one particular girl that he met just before he went to prison should be singing the music because she is a fantastic singer, and that doesn't happen, and then realizes that that girl starts sleeping with Swan, and from there tries to kill himself, but Swan is quick to remind him that he's in contract, so the only way that he can die is if Swan dies. So yeah, Winslow is kind of alive forever, but as luck would have it, things get destroyed and Swan dies, but unfortunately so does Winslow, and that's kind of the end of the Phantom of the Paradise. Now, my final thoughts of the movie itself is obviously the stories of the Phantom have to kind of play to the time frame that it's going to. And I will say it is actually a very fun, rompous kind of piece, just because it's very, it's, how would you say, very out there. You can definitely see the glam rock aspect of it, especially when it comes to the singer that that Swan chooses over Jessica Harper's character. His name is Beef, and he's definitely very gay, almost very David Bowie-esque, and so that was kind of fun to watch how Brian De Palma chose to go down that route. And it's a very fun little romp. I will say I do know Jessica Harper because she was in Richard O'Brien's Shock Therapy, which was like a sequel to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which we will have to get into that one eventually. But I think it's very fun. I would definitely see this again, and I would actually watch this with people and have like a viewing night, because I think it's a story that just needs to happen. So that's just my own personal takeaway from all of this. So let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on Phantom of the Paradise? Would this be a movie you watch? I'd love to hear your comments down below. So thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of First Time Slasher. If you liked the video, please do not forget to like and subscribe down below. If you like all that we do and like to follow us across all social media, the links to all of our social media, including our Patreon links, will be included in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, my name is Forrest, and I'll see you in the shadows.